Hello, everybody. This is José Ignacio from the Uncomfortable Dialogues 2022. I am extremely honored and delighted to have a fantastic Californian with us today, Dr. Karen Semien McBride. She has a very broad and deep expertise in the following areas: change management, research, talent development, leadership, organizational management, and strategic planning. Dr. Karen holds 2 doctorate degrees, a master and a bachelor in the areas of business administration, social psychology, and organizational leadership. She has extensive experience working with the students, corporate boards, the C-suite teams on leadership and organizational management. I can mention that she has top-notch expertise with leaders facing adversities. Without any further ado, welcome Dr. Karen to our Uncomfortable Dialogue 2022 virtual studio. How are you doing today?
I am wonderful, Jose. Good to see you again.
Dr. Karen, you have a deep understanding about the theory on leadership and organizational management. So how do you make that knowledge to the layman people available? In other words, have you applied that knowledge to practical solutions and tools for leaders to learn?
Absolutely. I when I started my educational career, I started, of course, with my bachelor's in business administration. And, I was always seeking more and wanted more information. And I was always in leadership roles early on. I was managing people when I had my first job at Taco Bell. At 17, I was managing people. So I was in leadership and didn't even know I was in leadership. And so when I got to my master's degree and it was in organizational management and leadership, I kind of connected to this leadership thing and started understanding like, oh, okay, there's practical theories around how to grow people, how to teach people, how to manage people, how to be better bosses. That's kind of where I kind of started that. And I got a hold of emotional intelligence during that time. And then from there, I went on to get my doctorate in business administration because I continually wanted to know more about leadership and how to take the business part and really build leaders. And so that's all practical, right? It was important for my degrees kind of match that practical sense. And then the last degree, doctorate degree, is in psychology, where I'm now saying, okay, there's a human behavior connection here. And so how do we take our business acumen and all of these things and emotional intelligence and really say, how do we apply these tools?
Excellent, because as you well know, with this webcast, what we're trying to do is to really bring practical solutions for leaders facing adversity.
Yeah.
So can you give us kind of 2 or 3 ideas that you have put together behind the CEO Institute for leaders to really understand how to cope with all this uncertainty in the workplace?
Oh my gosh, yes. We have an executive coaching firm. So our executive coaching firm is called MK Circle CEO Institute, and we really focus in on those adversity spaces, right? We help our leaders with tools to help them with adversity. Managing up is one of those places where people get disconnected from their leader and not truly understand how to manage up and understand the pressures that are above. And so we use the tool of managing up. We've created our own assessment around managing up and helping people just be able to be better at understanding the top as well as managing out. We also use a tool that helps with emotional intelligence, and which to me is just core in leadership. We all must practice emotional intelligence. We all must get a glimmer of emotional intelligence to really understand that work and emotions go together. We've been told in our careers, oh, no emotion at work. You shouldn't be emotional at work. And you can't tell a human not to be emotional. There's no such thing. Your brain is 90% emotion. So you can't tell a human being to not be emotional. But what you can do is teach a human being about how to manage those emotions, how to understand those emotions, how to know that their emotions can affect others and those others can affect you. And then how do we regulate those for better communication? How do we regulate those for better interaction? So these tools that we share really help them apply the tools to be able to help them in supporting how they manage adversity, whether it is face to face, whether it's global. These tools really do work in that area.
Well, very interesting. Thank you very much for sharing these ideas. Now, I have another idea which I think you will love it. So, you have said that life is not a sport you want to participate without a coach.
So yeah, I just do believe, I think, how that quote came about, Jose, is I think about, the the one place where, and it's the oldest, space in, in our culture of where coaching is involved, and that's in sports, right? And so if we apply leadership to sports and we think about these teams, like there's no Tom Brady without a coach. Like these individuals have coaches for a reason, and the coaches are really to kind of support them in more effective decision making, right? Conditioning, whether it's physical, mental conditioning of how we can make better decisions, how we can interact differently and better with individuals. Coaching allows for a space of freedom where you can have conversations about issues that we think we can't talk about at work, that we can actually have conversations about things that we need to break down or we need to get in a more detailed aspect of. And so the coaching part of it is it's so important to have that resource. Coaching is this space where, and of course it really exploded a lot in the professional space. Coaching became really big in COVID, actually. People do need that support. Parents have their roles, teachers have their roles, professors have their roles, doctors have their roles. And I really believe the coach is sometimes that glue for all of those connections.
Excellent. Dr. Karen, we need to land this plane. So I have one final question for you.
Yes.
So what is going to be your legacy going forward?
I worked with a colleague. She created a assessment that she was using actually for high school and college students. And her and I got together, and I talked to her about expanding that assessment and expanding it in a way that I took some of my research and applied some of my research into this assessment around emotional intelligence and mindset, and around what I call the new leadership language and operational style. And so we created this assessment that allows people to truly see how they operate, how they show up in a room, how they interact with people, and taking that tool, that assessment, as a tool for their own edification, but their own growth, and using that tool to support them in effective decision-making, communication, the areas of just understanding who they are and understanding others better. And so I believe that is going to be our legacy, that we're going to be able to have this assessment out there to help people understand how to use our leadership language to be more effective leaders. And so that is what I would say my legacy would be, is that we get to leave this tool out here for so many leaders to use and build on for growth.
This is excellent. Thank you very much, Dr. Karen. It's really lovely to talk to you again.